Hello everyone, today is December 12th, and welcome to a look and discussion of the upcoming severe weather potential on Wednesday, as well as a look farther into the week. Now last week was easily one of the most boring weather weeks in a while, and I think we'll take that because we need some breaks in between all these severe weather events. But that break is quickly coming to an end as we end up in more severe weather potential this week. Sadly, there are a lot of unfortunate factors that are going to go into this week's severe weather event that may make this one pretty dangerous compared to some last ones. With all that said, let's take a farther look into it. So here I am back on the Storm Prediction Center's website. First, we're going to look at the severe weather threat for Tuesday. As you can see, we are highlighted under a slight risk for severe weather, with northwestern portions of the area focused on more of an enhanced risk, more in northern Louisiana and eastern Texas. Now, while the severe threat is technically listed for Tuesday, the outlook actually lasts from 6 a.m. Tuesday morning to 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. With that said, this slight risk more applies closer to the Wednesday morning time frame. And for your Tuesday, actually, things won't really be that bad. Highs will be in the mid 70s, dew points will be creeping up, which is something we don't like to see. And while rain chances do start to increase during the day, it's not a total washout for tomorrow. Either way, our focus is more on Wednesday. Currently, we are under a slight risk again for the entire area. With that said, I fully expect this to be upgraded to an enhanced risk somewhere along the Gulf Coast, including our area, and I will show you why when I bring up some of the factors that we have in play for this severe weather event. Let's take a look at the models. This is the 12 p.m. HRRR run that we will be looking at here. As I play out the simulated radar, you will see that many supercells are forming off to our west. Now note that this time frame is Tuesday. Notice just how many supercells there are off to our west. Now understand that this threat on Tuesday will not be affecting us, as I've reiterated multiple times now, but it will still be something to watch before we get to our event. If I move this forward in time as we get toward midnight and eventually 3 in the morning, this right here is 6 in the morning. At 6 in the morning, you can see some showers starting to develop across the area, but nothing much happening. Most of it is to our northwest. As we go ahead a couple more hours, you can see storms start to develop in the Gulf, and these are where our problems are going to be. Also notice that within the line you see these swaths of black lines. That is rotation being picked up by the model. Now this is noon on a Wednesday. But as we can see at noon, we're watching storms off to our west, with storms forming out in the Gulf moving to the northeast over our area. Those will be the ones to watch during the day. We will be watching for any one of these storms to move northward and may become a supercell, maybe severe, maybe drop a tornado. We hope not, but that's just the way things are going to play out. And it's especially concerning considering the parameters we have in place. First off, we look at CAPE, the energy values in the atmosphere. For noon Wednesday, notice that we're already creeping into the 1000 to 1500 range, which is pretty good. As we pull this forward to our noon time frame, you can notice energy values are very high, 2000 to 2500. This is excessively enough CAPE to where storms will be able to flourish, they will be able to thrive. Energy in the atmosphere will not be a problem at all. Now, if we go to our supercell composite, you can see widespread areas of 4, 5, and 6 across the area. These are before the storms get there, and parameters will only be increasing throughout the day. Supercell composite tells you just how favorable the environment is for supercells, and a value of 4, 5, or 6 is pretty good, and even off to the west there's some localized areas of 9 and 10. Now do note that those are in storms, those can be contaminated, and they likely are, considering there was rain in this area when we looked. However, widespread across the environment we find the orange values, they are 4, 5, and 6. Now swapping to the NAM to capture the entire time frame, we can see that values once again are increasing by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, what we saw was 18Z. 18Z is noon. So at noon we saw values that were pretty high in the 4, 5, and 6 range. This NAM model also shows the same over southwestern portions of the area. As we go on, notice how these values increase once again. By sunset, the front starts to move through the area, and by sunset, after sunset at the very least, the front should be through the area and the severe threat will be over. Now behind that front, notice how we get colder air to move in pretty quickly. You can see a 20-degree drop on this model within 3 hours. With all that said, there is a threat that I haven't even mentioned yet, and that being flooding. Now when we look back at the simulated radar, I want you to notice over this area of Louisiana what we're seeing. Beginning at around 3 o'clock on Tuesday, notice how storms begin to fire in that area. And notice how they train over the same areas, creating a big swath of heavy rain. Now notice a few hours later, just past midnight, how more storms form and fire over the same areas and train over the same areas. By 6 a.m., those areas could easily see some very heavy rain. Now notice as we get toward midday on Wednesday that even more storms fire over that area. These ones are the ones that are showing rotation, and that could bring even more heavy rain over the area. Now yes, this is off to our west, and something like that is likely not to happen over our area. But I do want to note the threat of flooding because these storms could cause issues. If multiple storms manage to track over the same areas, it could easily become a flood threat, especially in the city of New Orleans, as we all know. You know, New Orleans floods over a daily rain shower. Multiple storms over it can cause issues. Taking a look at the forecasted rainfall totals, notice widespread 2 to 3 inches across the area, with totals closer to Lafayette in the 4 to 6 range and even higher than that. The biggest threat for rain will obviously be across this area, as those training storms can cause issues. Unfortunately, to compound the dangerousness of this threat, we're actually looking at the Slidell radar to be down during this event. The Slidell radar is pivotal to our area. Without it, we wouldn't be able to do very much. With it being down, our nearest radar is all the way in Mobile, Alabama. And while it can detect taller storms, smaller showers and rotation will be impossible to track with these radars. Our saving grace, luckily, will be the radar in Norco. Now this radar tends to be unreliable and goes down a good bit over the day, but I'm hoping that they're keeping it up specifically for this threat. So with all that said, let's look at the main forecast. This is for New Sarpy. Now I've already gone over that Tuesday will be a fairly good day for the most part. But as we get into the nighttime on Tuesday and into Wednesday morning, notice how high the rain chances go. By midnight, you're looking at a pretty much guaranteed chance of rain, with thunder becoming possible as well. Notice that after the front kicks through, lows on Thursday morning will end up in the lower 50s. We will see winds shift to the northwest and rain chances dropping massively over that time. The highs for your Thursday only look to top out near 60, and lows Friday morning will be nearing the mid 40s. By Saturday morning, looking at lower 40s for lows, and highs only top out near the mid 50s. Even as we get into Sunday, notice lows still getting cold and highs getting colder as well, only topping out near 50 on Sunday. Also notice that by Sunday morning and Saturday night, rain creeps back into the picture. Now this thread will be covered when we get there, but I do want to mention a little tidbit that I saw in the discussion this morning. When they start to talk about the weekend, notice how they talk about winter weather. What the hell? Anyways, I will not entertain that idea right now. We will focus on that when we get toward the weekend and things get a lot more confident because as you know, winter weather down here is not the easiest thing to forecast. Anyways, thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch my video. Be safe this week. If things change, expect another video tomorrow about this event, although I don't think there will be enough change to kind of do that. But with that said, stay informed, keep tabs on my weather updates, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.